Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is Russ from Best Available Player. I apologize for my janky setup here. I'm just recording through the microphone on my laptop, but I needed to hurry up because I had just finished my brand new official 2021 Madden rookie draft class. I know I'm cutting it close here. The draft is this coming Thursday, but I've been working tirelessly on this draft class, and I was excited to upload it to the Madden Share earlier today. And I'm excited to talk through why my draft class might be different than others and why you should download it and give it a shot. For clarity's sake here, this is Madden NFL 21 on the PlayStation 5. Sorry to anyone with a lower gen console, but this was for the PlayStation 5 Madden NFL 21. In the first half of my video, I'm going to keep things kind of basic and not get too technical. I won't give away any overalls or give away who's a superstar, who's normal development, because I know some people like to just download the draft classes and find that kind of stuff out themselves. But I will be getting into the nitty gritty in the second half of this video, so I'll make sure to let people know when we're going to get into that conversation so they can either pause it and go explore themselves, or so maybe I'll leave a timestamp in the description just so you can hop over to that stuff if you want to get down to business. And obviously, if you wouldn't mind, please excusing some of these names. Madden seems really strict on what you can name your players, even though I did try to give them their real life names, not to put any kind of immature jokes in, but they didn't like it, so I had to put some dashes, take out some letters, so please excuse that. Here's what we're looking at now. Some of you might be asking right off the bat, like, why is number 1 Trevor Lawrence, number 2 Kyle Pitts, number 3 Devontae Smith, rather than have all of these amazing young quarterbacks kind of towards the top. I'll say that I based just this basic order off of what you can find on the NFL.com's draft prospects page. And what they did on there was they put all of the prospects in order based on whatever grade the NFL gave them. In years past, it's what they called the combine grade. Obviously, there was no combine this year due to the global pandemic, and everyone had individual pro days. But since this is an NFL brand game, I decided, rather than reference ESPN or even make my own kind of prospect rankings, I just base it off of what the NFL's prospect rankings are. So I try to keep it neutral in that regard. If you have an issue with the way someone is placed or ranked, don't take it up with me, take it up with NFL. That being said, we'll take this case in point. If we look at our tight ends, this is what surprised me the most. The NFL ranked this kid, Tommy Tremble, out of Notre Dame, the second top tight end prospect. Now, if you haven't turned the video off yet in complete disgust, just know, even though he's ranked second, it doesn't mean that he's the second best tight end in this draft class based on overall. You follow me? I'm not going to come out and say that Pat Freiermuth's overall is better than Tommy Tremble, but his overall might be higher than Tommy Tremble's, all right? So the prospect rankings, obviously, if I went ahead and put all these players in overall order, it wouldn't be very exciting for you to kind of dig around and choose who you're going to draft in a particular round, because you'll know that the best available player is at the very top of the availability list. So, all these players, whether their overall is the highest or not, they're all in different areas, and it's going to be fun, I think, for you guys to roam around and find who's ranked too high, who's ranked too low, who's a good steal and stuff like that. So we'll look at our quarterbacks here, and again, this is how the NFL.com has ranked these prospects. And Mac Jones is rumored to go in the first round. Heck, he's rumored to go 3 overall. Why is he in the second round? Again, if you look at all the positions combined, he just doesn't fall in the top 32 players according to NFL.com. Does that necessarily mean he's not round 1 material? No, not at all. I mean, look at these guys who start in the second round. Terrace Marshall, who could go in the first round. Jamin Davis could go in the first round. Tyson Campbell could go first round. Nick Bolton. I mean, there's plenty of guys here that have ranked lower than top 32 prospects in this second round tier. So, don't base everything off of what you see in these prospect rankings. Now, I do want to start talking about development traits, and I'll say that I based my development traits off of what Madden did last year. What Madden did last year was they only gave one superstar X Factor. They gave 9 superstar developments, and they gave just about 30 stars. And the reason why I wanted to look off of Madden of last year is because I see in a lot of these draft classes, they're giving out 15 superstars, 50 stars, and if you have like a cap in your league settings, your franchise league settings of how many superstars or stars are available, it's really going to throw things out of whack. And you're not going to fix your entire team in the draft alone by getting all these star players, in the second, fourth, sixth, seventh round. It's just not how it works. And again, I'll let you know who those specific players are in the second half of this video, but I did want to just give you that quick little nugget of 1 superstar X Factor, 9 superstars, and just about 30 stars. I showed you what our quarterbacks look like. Here's our running backs. Now, again, we know maybe 1 or 2 running backs will get drafted in the first round. Maybe none at all will get drafted in the first round. We don't see running backs going in the first round as much as we used to. However, this guy Travis and Najee here, they're top-rated prospects. They could fall to the second round. They could easily fall to the third round if that's the way your draft goes. But just know that they are high overall college prospects compared to everyone else in the draft. Whether running back is your need or not, you just need to know that these are good players. I'm sure some are surprised to see Javonte Williams in that top 32 prospect range. Up to you if you want to take the risk on drafting this guy that early. And, here's the rest of the guys, rated appropriately, again, according to NFL. We've got some real-life fullbacks in there for you. And here's our long list of wide receivers. Again, I've mentioned this before about what might be confusing to you. And a few months ago, we saw some pretty prominent analysts with mock drafts coming out with Tutu Atwell going in the first round. And we see him all the way down here in the 5th. Yeah, his pro day wasn't too great. He came in weighing pretty light. But that doesn't mean Tutu Atwell is not potentially a first, second, or third round talent, So again, do your due diligence. Go in and scout these guys and see what you're feeling. There are a lot of left tackles in this draft. I don't think people are talking about that enough. You've got your guards here. Some really good center prospects in this draft. More guards. And your right tackles. Now, another thing that's going to separate my draft class from other ones is the way that I did give these players their overalls. Again, no spoilers just yet, but I just want to get into how I went about determining the overalls for all these players. And I think a lot of you will be happy to know that I based a lot of things off of their pro days. So if we want to look at maybe a wide receiver prospect who had a pro day, let's say Elijah Moore, for instance. If we want to look at Elijah Moore's pro day, we know that he ran a 4.3540. Now, what does that mean to us? Yeah, he's a fast guy, but how could you determine exactly what overall that gives him? Well, luckily on the internet there are some really great resources that have kind of dissected the way Madden processes rookies, and once you get to a certain point in the season during franchise, they give out the combine grades and statistics of all of these players. So I use this tool at maddenschool.com, and if you look at where that 4.3540 lies, it's in this area here for speed specifically. And if we want to go back, we'll also see that his vertical leap was 36 inches. And when we go to scroll down on the website, we'll see there are some estimated values for what their jump overall will look like. And so on and so forth for the rest of these. Bench is obviously their strength. The 3-cone might be their acceleration and agility. So I went through and I found all of these prospects. We're talking over 250 prospects, all their pro days, and put that information in. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. How do we determine Elijah Moore's, catching overalls, his short route running, his deep route running, his release? Well, if we go back to the NFL.com's prospect list, and we go to Elijah's profile here, and you'll see his height and weight measurements, which are also accurate in my draft class. You'll see that he has an NFL comparison. An NFL comparison that apparently here is Antonio Brown. So what I went and then did was I went to the Madden ratings website and I looked that player up. Now, obviously, Antonio Brown's an 86 overall. We're not going to have a draft prospect come out that's an 86 overall. We won't touch his speed. We won't touch his acceleration or anything like that because though we have those actual measurements from his pro day. But we will look at his catch and we'll base the catch overall on what Antonio Brown has. Antonio Brown has a 94. Maybe we lower that 10 overall, 20 overall to fit him into that range. And that's how I went through and I gave all of these guys their overalls. Now, in real life Madden draft classes, you will be hard pressed to find an 80 overall or higher prospect. The highest overall prospect you will find in this draft class is a 79. That's a 79 overall is the highest overall prospect you will find in this entire draft class. And I think maybe now will be a good time to let you all know that I will start digging into those overalls and who has them. So if you do want to explore for yourself, go ahead and pause this video, download it, play through a franchise, let me know what you think of it. And maybe if you get upset as to why some key players are like this, come back to this video and jump to this timestamp because we'll talk about who has what and why they do. So I'm going to go ahead and go into edit draft class so we can see their overalls. Okay, here we go. So if I organize by overall, the highest overall player in this draft class is going to be Kyle Pitts, tight end prospect out of Florida with a 79 overall grade. Kyle Pitts also has the X Factor development trait, and he's the only one in this draft class to have it. Now, I've seen a lot of people give that X Factor development trait to Trevor Lawrence. I've also seen Trevor Lawrence being the #1 prospect. While Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent, he's great. I personally don't ever see Madden giving a rookie quarterback the X Factor ability trait. We haven't seen it before, and I don't think we will see it even this year. That being said, Trevor Lawrence is a superstar. I did give Trevor Lawrence the superstar development trait. He is by far and away the best quarterback prospect in this draft class. So those are our top two guys here. And again, we based overall ratings on pro days and NFL comparisons. Joe Burrow was a 77 last year. Trevor Lawrence, or maybe he was a 76, I don't remember. But Trevor Lawrence is a 77. That's an incredible rookie overall. And with the superstar development, he's going to, skyrocket into the high 80s within his first or second year. If you're really upset about Trevor not having that X Factor, all you'll need to do is win Rookie of the Year, or, you might even get, oh, he wants to be X Factor this week. All you need to do is throw, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, whatever. But if you win a yearly award or get a Pro Bowl, that should boost him to X Factor. And I'm saying it like it's super easy, simple to do, but, when you have a rookie quarterback, more often or not, they will win that Rookie of the Year award. I have Patrick Surtain ranked as the #1 corner. He is a superstar development with a 76. And rather than spoil all these superstars, I'll say this. There's 9 superstars. Only one of them is a quarterback. 2 of them are corners. 3 of them are wide receivers. That's 3 wide receivers who are superstars. 1 is a linebacker. 1 is a defensive end. And another one is a left tackle. And, spoiler alert, that left tackle superstar is Penny Sewell. Penny Sewell, I gave a 74 overall. If we want to look at rookies from last year, Mekhi Becton was only a 73, and he's an incredible prospect. But again, we based this mainly off of pro days and NFL comparisons. 74 superstar overall is incredible for Penny Sewell. Now, I know a few people think that Rashawn Slater is just as good, if not better, than Penny Sewell. I think Rashawn Slater is great. Let's look at his overall. Rashawn Slater here, I sent him to right tackle. Now, of course, all of you know you can switch these guys once you draft them, edit their position, make them right tackle, left tackle, whatever you want. Rashawn Slater is that 73 overall. However, he is not superstar. I gave him star development, which I don't think is a bad deal at all. I think he's a great player, and with star development, he's a great prospect. But just to look at the rest of these quarterbacks here, there's quite a fall off from Trevor Lawrence, and for obvious reasons, he is the #1 prospect. He's a once-a-generational talent. The number 2 overall pick looks like it's going to be Zach Wilson, but there are options. Mac Jones and Trey Lance and Zach Wilson all have 72s. Justin Fields with a 71. However, out of these 4 guys, only 2 of them have star development, and the other 2 have normal. Now, I think that's going to make a lot of people upset. Who's to say not all 4 of these guys deserve star development? And maybe I'll spoil it here. I'm going to go ahead and say Trey Lance is normal development, Mac Jones is normal development, Justin Fields is star, Zach Wilson is star. Now, why do I give Trey Lance normal? Trey Lance, as exciting of a prospect he is, coming out of North Dakota State, he's not playing the type of teams that Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence is playing, even Zach Wilson to some extent. That being said, getting Mac Jones or Trey Lance with just a normal development, 72 overall, these guys, they're going to get the star development, even superstar, if you play well with them. Because again, with the recent Madden update of getting the development upgrade goals for a specific game, it's going to be a simple shot to get these guys going. And that kind of also goes for anybody in this draft class who, if you draft them, you're surprised that they're normal. You could always boost that depth chart up with solid play. But again, that's the way I did it for my draft class. Love it or hate it. And I think a lot of people are also going to say a lot of these overalls are really low. I try to simulate what Madden would give these guys. Because again, a lot of these player-made draft classes, they've got guys in the 80s, they got super high overall guys, and this one draft class just completely takes over the league. It's just not how it works in real life. You're going to get a couple dozen solid players, and maybe some go on to have wonderful, amazing Hall of Fame careers, and some of them kind of fall by the wayside. That's just how it works every year. I think a lot of people are kind of tied up between whether they take Travis or Najee with their running back pick. And again, lucky enough, based off of Pro Day stats and NFL comparisons, they both come to 74. Javonte Williams with a 73. Travis and Najee both have star development. Javonte with only normal development. Here are wide receiver prospects. Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase tie for 75 overall. Jalen Waddle just behind him with a 74. These 3 guys all have superstar development trait. That being said, there are about 5 other wide receiver prospects who turn out to be star development. So this is a pretty great wide receiver class. We thought last year's was really good, which it was. This year's could be almost as good, maybe even just as good. And if you've been watching from the beginning, you'll see here, even though Tommy Tremble, according to NFL.com, is ranked the 2nd best tight end based on combine grades, you can't deny Pat Freiermuth is a better athlete. 72 overall for Pat. Tommy Tremble's a 69 normal development. Pat does have the star development because he is a great prospect in and of himself. And I don't know where else to really dive in here. There's only going to be 1 star safety. And we've got 2 corners who are superstars. Okay? 2 corners who are superstars. However, we also have 1 star corner, and the rest are going to be normal. And I know that kind of surprises people because there's a lot of great prospects here. They got high overalls to begin with. You get a rookie corner who's 72 overall, whether he's normal or not, that's a solid prospect. Go get him. Linebackers and edge rushers, it gets kind of fishy to kind of pick them out here in Madden because Madden doesn't have an edge rusher position, just, outside linebacker, defensive end. And again, whether you want Micah Parsons in that right outside linebacker spot, left outside linebacker spot, right end, left end, you could go ahead and edit that yourself. But that's just the way we got him here. Micah Parsons is the lone superstar linebacker in my draft class. There are about 4 or 5 linebackers who are star development, whether they're in the middle or the outside. Only 1 defensive tackle prospect is a star. I'll let you find out who that is for yourself. And my defensive ends here, only 1 is a superstar. I won't give that one away, but there are 4 star defensive ends alongside him. I think that pretty much does it for what I want to go over and the points I wanted to get across regarding my draft class. If people have ideas or suggestions or criticisms I'd love to hear them. Maybe I have a guy in who's set as undrafted, and he's a prospect that was expected to go in this year's draft, but actually didn't commit, and he's still playing. We want to get that name out of there because it's just going to ruin other future draft classes for you. You're going to have duplicate players. So if I overlook somebody, please let me know. If you think I definitely got some of these dev traits or even overalls wrong, I want to hear your arguments as to why. Or, if you've got compliments, that'd be nice to hear too. Again, sorry for my janky setup. Just wanted to get the point across here that I dropped my new draft class. I'm really excited about it, and I think you're going to enjoy using it. Look forward to hearing what you all think. You'll be able to find this draft class in the Madden community. The draft class name is 2021 Madden NFL Draft, and unfortunately I had to use my brother's account to upload this, and that username is Sermo Bros. So just go ahead and reference the text we have on the screen here so you can search and find this exact draft class. And make sure you go to bestavailableplayer.com for more cool content just like this. Thanks.